We welcome you to the NCAA Women's Championship presented by Capital One. The top two seeds in the Spokane region meet for a spot in Columbus at the Final Four. The Irish have overcome 4 season-ending injuries to reach the Elite Eight, and the Oregon Ducks, hoping the best season in school history, doesn't end tonight. Connecticut, an easy win earlier tonight against South Carolina. If Notre Dame makes it to the Final Four to be the 4th time ever that 4 #1 seeds advance, Oregon trying to upset the apple cart and get to the Final Four for the first time. And with LaChina Robinson, I'm Dave Pash. Notre Dame, even though it is used to making Final Fours, just 2 players on this roster were there the last time they went back in 2015. One of those players that was not, Marina Mabry, is doing all she can this year to get her team there.
Yeah, Notre Dame has had the #1 offense through the NCAA tournament, averaging 96 points per game. And Marina Mabry, she has been the driving force, the X factor. Look at the numbers. 15 three-pointers in the NCAA tournament, shooting it at 65%. She is their best perimeter defender. She's Jersey tough. There is no backing down. From #3 in white, she has been given the point guard responsibilities, and she's doing it well.
And she's very tough, and somebody on Oregon equals her in terms of toughness and skill is Sabrina Ionescu. I mean, we're seeing her do things, LaChina, we haven't seen anybody do in women's college basketball. More triple doubles than anybody ever, and she's just a sophomore.
Yeah, she's one of one. There's no player like her in women's college basketball, past or present. Last year, she was a star. This season, a superstar, and you see the improvements to prove it. She's a more confident player, which means a greater opportunity to get her team to that next step, the Final Four.
And now let's check in with a third member of our crew. Here's Molly McGrath.
Well, Dave, when Oregon's head coach Kelly Graves put his staff together in 2014, the main goal was to make it to a Final Four in 4 years, and tonight they have a chance to do just that. Now, guard Sabrina Ionescu told me that Graves' pitch to her when he was recruiting her, and that big vision of change is what made her want to come to Oregon. When I asked her what it would mean to be the first women's team in school history to make it to a Final Four, she said, "I have goosebumps even thinking about it, but we are not intimidated by Notre Dame's storied history."
Well, it was 7 years ago to the day that a Kelly Graves coach team, Gonzaga, made it to the Elite Eight here in Spokane. They lost big that night. He's obviously hoping for a different result tonight. And the starting lineup's brought to you by Capital One. Bando, Cazorla, Sabali, and Ruthie Hebert joining Ionescu. Hebert had a big game, 23 points, 14 rebounds, and 6 blocks in the Sweet 16. Mabry joined by Jackie Young. Goombawale was second-team All-American. Westfeld and Shepard who just got that basket there for the Irish. Oregon last year made the Elite Eight as a 10 seed. A lot different this time around as the #2 and the Pac-12 champs. A backdoor cut, the basket for Ionescu, her first points tonight.
Notre Dame starting off in a man-to-man defense. We don't expect to see a lot of that from either one of these teams. They thrive in the zone.
Turnover forced by Ionescu, who's averaging nearly 2 steals per game. She does everything, including shoot threes, a terrific 3-point threat. Couldn't get the rebound, but Hebert does, ripping it away from Goombawale and banks it in to make it 6-2 Ducks. Hebert had a stretch during the regular season where she made 33 straight shots, something that had never happened before in the history of women's college basketball or men's.
You see Oregon in their 2-3 zone. They'll play some 1-2-2. They're willing to give up that high post shot.
31st year for Muffet McGraw, national champion, Hall of Famer, trying to get Notre Dame to its 8th Final Four. Connecticut is going for the 19th straight time as Westfeld scores. UConn an easy winner earlier tonight. So Gina Auriemma has now been to more Final Fours than any coach in college basketball history with 18 trips. Cazorla misses rebound for Notre Dame.
Notre Dame's #1 concern defensively, the pick and roll game on offense by Oregon. They're so good.
What a play. Speaking of so good, Goombawale shaking a defender and then that great dish to tie the game.
The game plan for both of these coaches is You won't beat us with threes. They're going to force you into making tough, contested, two-point shots.
Oregon, a school record 33 wins. Notre Dame, 32 wins, and the only losses against #1 seeds in this tournament, Connecticut and Louisville twice. We get a foul here on the Ducks. It'll go the other way.
Arike Ogunbowale is dangerous off of the bounce. Check the handles, inside out, the crossover. And the plan was not to have Ruthie Hebert to come up and help. They want Ruthie to stay low and force Notre Dame to make a tough shot for mid-range, but Arike had freedom all the way to the rim.
Although that time they forced a tough two by Arike. Out of bounds to the Ducks.
I mean, this is handles right here. In and out the crossover. Cazorla went skating for a moment, long enough to get Arike. A nice look off a little there for Westbeld.
Ogunbowale, a junior from Milwaukee, averaging 21 points per game as Ionescu hits the jumper.
Muscle McGraw said, I have not seen a player like Sabrina Ionescu. So the plan coming in, nice shot there by Ogunbowale, was don't give Ionescu any threes and no layups.
It's interesting bringing that up, though. I mean, Muffet, think how long she's been in the women's college game, in 3 decades, to say she hasn't seen a player like Ionescu in terms of just how unique she is and all that she does.
Yeah, there just has not been a player like her. And we've seen great passers, we've seen great shooters, but she also has the rebounding factor.
Close to 7 rebounds, 8 assists, and 20 points per game for Ionescu. And Ogunbowale has the hot hand early on for Notre Dame. 5 points already for the second-team All-American, first-team All-ACC. And her scoring average this year is the best in program history. Ionescu coming off the screen. Great pass to Hebert.
And that 1-2 punch from Ionescu to Hebert, we've become accustomed to seeing a lot of success on the offensive end.
Westbeld had trouble with the pass, and a turnover by Notre Dame. Mabry knocks it out of bounds.
Making reads off of pick and rolls offensively is what Oregon does so well. Right here, Ionescu with just a tip pass to Ruthie Hebert. Great chemistry on this team.
Hebert gets to the rim and lays it in to give the Ducks the lead back. Six points already for Hebert. Here's Westbeld, who's been battling an ankle injury. He hasn't been practicing. We said in the open that they've had 4 players out due to injury. They're all torn ACLs. Westbeld has played through a foot injury that she hurt in the first round and barely played in their second round win against Villanova. Sabally puts it on the floor and gets to the rim, but it won't drop. Got her own miss. Couldn't finish again, and then it's cleared by Young. Good hands by Cazorla. Another forced turnover. This Oregon defense playing much better during the NCAA tournament than it did during the regular season.
Yeah, their defense has gotten better with time. Their offense has always been efficient, but on the other end of the floor, just maturing a lot in terms of the details.
Wild shot by Ionescu. Now Ogunbowale with a great feed, and the bucket for Jackie Young. Couple of assists, 5 points for Ogunbowale in the early going. Sabally faces up and turns it over. Thought that Banda was on the wing.
Notre Dame off to a quick start on the offensive end. Arike Ogunbowale hitting from everywhere. Who would be most likely to get into a Twitter beef? Who could take Jay Billis' job for a day? Who falls asleep faster when napping? Who would be better at doing the jig? Who would win at a game of chess? Who would be an extra in a Brad Pitt movie? Who's more afraid of snakes? Who listens to Migos pregame? Last but not least, who would be most likely to practice with the Notre Dame football team? Open your eyes. Quarterback.
All in all, that, you know, for teammate trivia, for one player that's a transfer from Nebraska and Shepherd, and another player, Brianna Turner, who hasn't even played because she's been out since the NCAA tournament last year. That's pretty good, LaChawn.
Well, I mean, you've got to make a decision. You know, we had a little bit of a problem with one Dave and Molly today. You know, you got to make a decision. Just be wrong and be strong.
I was trying to be nice.
So you said.
Shot clock down to 1. Here's Hebert, got it off in time and gets the bounce. Hebert is 4 for 4, 8 points. We mentioned that streak of 33 consecutive makes during the regular season, one which can't imagine will be repeated anytime soon. Agunbowale turns and hits.
Ruthie Hebert is the bailout player. She is dependable night in and night out. When things are going wrong or right from the perimeter, Ruthie is always there.
Cazorla will go to the line. All the points for Oregon have been scored in the paint so far. Nelson picks up the foul for Notre Dame, her first. Well, Molly talked about at the beginning of the telecast the plan for Kelly Graves, try to get to a Final Four in 4 years. Now, you could take over at some schools and say because you have talent left over that it's an achievable goal, it's reasonable. But who would have thought at Oregon? And this is a program that prior to last year had never even been to the Sweet 16. And one of the ways he's built this program is international players. Cazorla, obviously you get Ionescu from Walnut Creek, California. That's a big signing. But Sabalis from Germany. Cazorla, who is just at the line there, she's from Spain.
Well, one thing Kelly Graves knew is that he knew how to revive a program. He did it at St. Mary's, Gonzaga. And so he came in with that kind of confidence and a plan that has obviously worked well. But you're right, the international players, he loves positionless players, very skilled. The number of gold medals on his roster is so impressive. So these are players that even though they may be sophomores and juniors, they've had international experience at a high level.
Yeah, Cazorla's got 5 gold medals. Shepherd is fouled, so 2 quick personals on Oregon. That's the 3rd team foul on the Ducks. Cazorla picked up the foul again, so that's 2 on her. And Jessica Shepherd, 67% free throw shooter on the year, at the line. Notre Dame's men's hockey team to advance to the Final Four in St. Paul. You can catch the Irish International semifinal doubleheader Thursday, April 5th, 6 Eastern on ESPN2 and the ESPN app. And visit NCAA.com, the home for all 90 NCAA championships. Missed the second free throw, but kept alive by Young. Shepherd power move, and Hebert with their strong rebound. It's interesting, Mabry hasn't even taken a shot yet. In fact, hasn't taken a shot since the 3rd quarter of their last game.
And she hasn't needed to. Arike Agunbowale has come out shooting the ball well, making big plays for the Irish.
Shot clock down to 5. Here's Bando. Tough shot, in and out. Mabry clears for the Irish. Mabry does have 2 assists, coming off a 25-point game and averaging better than 20 in the NCAA tournament. Mabry with a great entry pass to Nelson.
Notre Dame is really good at that, getting to the middle of the floor and making the post pass up high.
Notre Dame shooting close to 70% from the floor. Ionescu around the screen and then hits the pull-up jumper. Ionescu with 6 points now. Agunbowale wide open. Ionescu with the long rebound. Off target on the jumper is Justine Hall. 1 minute to go here in the first quarter. No look pass and the basket for Shepherd, pushing the lead to 5.
Same pass over the top, and that's what Kelly Graves was concerned about. He said, we can't let them go over the top of our defense. Now, against most teams, Oregon is tall and long, but Notre Dame can match up with that size.
And right now, Notre Dame defensively has no answer for Ionescu. That's really the same play they just ran. 8 points now for Sabrina.
And that was the shot that they were okay with her taking. They felt like it was a lower percentage shot than a 3, and obviously a layup, but she's hitting it.
Bando rips it away from Nelson after the layup missed by Mabry. And her first shot attempt of the game. Jackie Young charged with defending Ionescu with 6 seconds to go in the quarter. They've got 2 screeners. Ionescu banks it in with a second to go. Ionescu scores the last 6 points for Oregon. And the Ducks within 1 after 1. And you'll hear from their head coach, Kelly Graves, when we return.
Back here in Spokane, the Ducks just down by 1. I'm here with Oregon's head coach, Kelly Graves. And, Coach, what do you need to do to better defend Arike Ogunbowale?
Well, her among others. You know, she's just such a great athlete. Sometimes it's tough, and she's so strong, it's tough to just keep her in front of you. But, you know, we just got to do a better job of closing every driving lane. She only got the one in transition, so then that area we were okay. But, boy, our half-court defense is pretty porous.
What do you want to continue to see offensively?
Well, I thought we were a little tentative. You know, we're so good inside and out. We haven't had a chance to get really a good look at any 3. We need to get Bando off, Satu off a little bit. Sabrina's done a nice job attacking the paint. Ruthie's cleaned it up a little bit. So it's a pretty good game, though, I'm assuming, for a fan to watch.
It is. Thank you, Coach.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, they didn't even attempt a 3 in that first quarter, and they trailed Notre Dame by 1. A lot of support for Kelly Graves here. He coached here at Gonzaga, led them to the Elite 8 in 2011. Not just Oregon fans are here. John Stockton, who has become friends with Kelly Graves going back to Kelly's time here in Spokane. John, obviously a native, and played at Gonzaga, and is celebrating his 56th birthday today. And also, John is an assistant coach on an AAU team that Adi Gilden, junior from Spokane, and is on the Oregon roster that she played for. Bill Gates' brother-in-law was another assistant coach on that team as well.
Yeah, John Stockton helped out with the high school team as well. I mean, imagine that, looking over to the bench, and there's John Stockton. You don't really think you have a good chance of winning that game, right?
By the way, happy birthday, Andy Myers, too. We won't give Andy's age on the air. I think it's 26, though. Sabali hits the 3, and the Ducks finally get that 3-point shot to go. And Oregon in front. Check back in with Molly.
Well, you were talking about John Stockton and shoot-around this morning. Sabrina Ionescu yelling out, "It's John Stockton's birthday today. I'm going to get another 10 assists just for him," which shows how loose she was even this morning. Stockton, one of her favorite players, she said she's always a little more juice when he's out in the crowd watching them play. They've only spoken a couple times, but he told her he liked his game, which is high praise from John Stockton.
She's got 10 points to lead all scorers. A couple assists as well. What's changed here for Oregon, LaChina, over the last 3 minutes, going from a 5-point deficit to a 2-point lead?
Well, they feed off the 3-pointer. We heard Kelly Graves talking about the need to have 3s go up. So Satu Sabali hitting that then gave them some intensity on the defensive end. This is an Oregon team that's defense feeds off their offense.
Wow, Ionescu with 1 on the shot clock, buries it, and the Ducks have a 4-point lead, their largest of the game.
We opened talking about her improvements from last year. Sabrina Ionescu is a more physical player, inviting the contact like we saw in that last play.
Here's Westbeld, gets to the rim, misses the layup. Nelson with a rebound and an Oregon foul. First in the quarter on the Ducks.
And what I like about that play from Westbeld, they're going to give her that shot. But she decides to take it in and get a higher percentage look around the basket.
run by the Ducks. Westbell takes it to the rim, leaves it for Shepard, and she was fouled. She'll go back to the line. 2 free throws, 1 of 2 so far in the game.
Catherine Westbelt is a great decision maker, which is why Muffet McGraw was happy she was so healthy. She thought she could get the foul there. But then Jess Shepard, who is a load inside, 5 straight double-doubles. Her size, her girth, just her overall toughness down low will be a problem in this game for Oregon.
Well, you heard her in the Know Your Teammate trivia say she'd be a quarterback. Imagine where Muffet McGraw would be without Jessica Shepard. She transferred from Nebraska, thought that she was going to have to sit out the whole year, but was granted a waiver of immediate eligibility for what she said was, quote, an accumulation of personal reasons. That's why she got that waiver to be able to play right away. Bando short on the 3, Shepard the rebound. Mabry finds Shepard in traffic. And Oregon coaching staff thought she traveled. Tough shot won't go for Young. But look at Shepard down there to tie the game.
It's too easy for Notre Dame to get the ball inside the paint. We heard Kelly Graves saying we've got to have better defense. Their passing on the interior is what makes them just a stellar offensive team.
Good defense. Westbell breaking up the pass. Long outlet. Mabry tracks it down and scores. And Oregon turns it over, stepping over the end line.
Notre Dame picking up some momentum here. Jess Shepard with a nice lead pass to Mabry. Mabry wanted the call there, thought there was some contact.
Here's Mabry, deep three-point try is on the money. She is 16 for 24 from three-point range in the NCAA tournament.
It's incredible. And she's got her right hand wrapped up. She's actually got an injury to that right hand, but still shooting it at a high percentage.
Hebert with a basket, ends a 9-0 Notre Dame run. And with more on that injury, which is worse than a lot of people know, here's Molly McGrath.
Yeah, that's right. Marina Mabry told me her right pinky got pulled back in the ACC championship game. It was so swollen in the days after she couldn't even dribble a basketball. At one point she thought it was broken, but she's been treating it with ice and pain meds and doesn't feel much limitation when she's shooting the ball. But if it does get hit or squeezed, she's in serious pain, guys.
Yeah, even in the victory line, right? Accidentally, one of the assistant coaches for A&M squeezed her hand too hard, and she winced in pain.
There's no backing down in Marina Mabry. And you're right, here's the handshake right there. She kind of pulls back in some pain. I thought it might have been because she was so hot from 3. Her hand was sizzling.
Westbell in and out, rebounded by Hebert. Three-point Notre Dame lead. 3.5 minutes into the second quarter.
And you notice Mate Pazorla is back in the game despite those 2 fouls because she is so important to their offense.
Well, Hebert is 6 of 6 from the floor. Pulls the Ducks back within a point. Oregon shooting 61% from the floor. Notre Dame 55%. Agunbowale for 3, short. 12 for Ionescu, 12 for Hebert. Ionescu fakes the pass and is fouled on the way to the basket. She'll go to the line for the first time tonight.
Yeah, I think Jess Shepard got her down low with the body. Good push here by Sabrina Ionescu. Again, inviting some contact. I think there was the foot of Jess Shepard clipped Ionescu. But she kind of lost the ball on her way up as well, so it's hard to tell.
Ionescu from Walnut Creek, California, has a twin brother, Eddie, who originally was going to walk on the men's basketball team at Oregon. Ended up at City College of San Francisco.
And Sabrina said that's where she gets a lot of her competitiveness. She has two brothers. As 3-year-olds, her and her twin were going head-to-head, toe-to-toe in the backyard.
They go to Westbeld in the middle of that defense, and she's able to bank it in for her 8th point. So by far the most competitive of the 4 regional final games. All #1 seeds have moved on to Columbus. Notre Dame trying to join Mississippi State, Louisville, and UConn. And a held ball. It will stay with the Ducks as Hebert ties up Westbeld.
Ruthie Hebert covers so much ground, whether it's in their offense, setting screens and rolling, rebounding out of position. I think she has more responsibility than anyone on this team.
Sabali with a 3. She was 0 for 5 in the regional semifinal win over Central Michigan, but 2 for 2 tonight from behind the arc. That's a kickball. We got a timeout with Oregon in front by 2.
Oregon is starting to get warm from the three-point line. Satu Sabali, you know how lefties do it. The smooth stroke.
I think, Maria, what the coaches are saying there is that it's all about offense, which we love here in Spokane. You see that Louisville has moved on to the Final Four. They beat Notre Dame twice during the regular season. Mississippi State and Connecticut, 11th straight, 19th overall for UConn to the Final Four. They were tied with Tennessee for the most Final Four trips heading into tonight. So congratulations to Gino Auriemma. And the Huskies, they remain unbeaten going into the championship game.
But you know what's different about Spokane that I appreciate is that there's no real like senior All-Americans that are pushing for their last Final Four opportunity. I mean, Mississippi State has a cast of seniors that are critical to their success. Kazorla gets to the rim. Maisa Hines-Allen with Louisville. Kia Nurse and Gabby Williams in Connecticut. But these are just sophomores and juniors that are at the next level already in their careers.
Ionescu, first-team All-American, the only sophomore on the All-America teams. Molly McGrath was in the Oregon huddle during the timeout. What did you learn?
Yeah, well, Ionescu's such a great leader in that last timeout, telling her teammates, you can tell that they're rattled, they're arguing. We've got the momentum back, so you've got to keep them on their heels. And Kelly Graves added, they're supposed to win this game. They're tight. We need to keep it loose and have fun out there.
And they're on an 11-2 run right now, although a missed layup by Sabali. And a foul is called on Notre Dame. They're going to get Mabry for a personal, her first.
And that doesn't
Second on Notre Dame.
That doesn't surprise me when Molly was talking about Sabrina, because as they were going through the scout yesterday, she knew player tendencies that the coaches were going through before they would even say it. She was telling her teammates about things that they hadn't even discussed as a team. She'd been watching film.
Kazorla gets the layup, and Oregon has opened up a 6-point lead.
And that's what Coach Landers was talking about, the attack off of the dribble. And in pick-and-roll situations, Kazorla makes great decisions.
Westbeld has had it pretty easy in the middle of the paint. She's got 10 points now.
Yeah, and Satu Sabali is supposed to drop down and help on that drive. They don't want Ruthie Hebert helping up.
At some point, I think they'll just take someone defending Westbeld. As Ionescu scores and now has 16 points here in the first half. And a timeout by Notre Dame. The Ducks certainly have momentum. They're getting anything they want offensively right now. Shooting 73% from the floor in the quarter.
Well, if you like offense, they've got it here in Spokane. Sabrina Ionescu not taking no for an answer, keeps the dribble alive. A nice finish at the rim. And Sabrina Ionescu has brought her A game with an opportunity to advance to the Final Four. Really just taking what Notre Dame is giving her. They said we're going to make her make 2-pointers, don't let her get to the rim, no threes, and she's facilitating like we know she can do, impacting the game on all levels.
Maybe that's when we're trying to think about why it's hard to compare to somebody. She's so unique because if she can beat you from 3, she can beat you by getting to the foul line, but also her mid-range game is just as good, and that's what's on display right now.
It's complete.
7 of 11 from the floor. And again, most of those shots have been mid-range attempts. Good defense on Young. Out of bounds. It's going to stay with the Irish. 9 to shoot.
Boy, Ruthie Hebert has done a great job the last few possessions of taking away high percentage shots around the rim. Notre Dame is getting those passes on the interior, but they're not able to finish.
Hebert had 6 blocks in the regional semis. 3 ball off target by Young, and Hebert with her 9th rebound.
And they're going to give Jackie Young that shot.
Just 2 points for Young after 15 in the regional semis. Rebound for Agunbowale. Notre Dame looking to push some tempo. Agunbowale gets to the rim, but unable to score. Now Ionescu running the break. The Oregon fans wanted Bando to take that 3-point opportunity. Has not scored yet in the game, but they obviously wanted to keep shooting. And Sottile throws it away. It's the second time she's done that, not being on the same page. During 2 minutes to go here in the first half. Oregon looking to advance to its first Final Four. Notre Dame trying to get there for the 8th time. This is their 7th Elite 8 appearance in the last 8 years. But the last Final Four was in 2015. Lost in the regional semis 2 years ago, and the Elite 8 last year by a point to Stanford. Now, turnovers. Bando has it for the Ducks. Out on the break for the layup.
The Notre Dame defense has become stagnant. Muffin McGraw wants to talk to her team right here. Look at Sabrina Ionescu all over Agunbowale, and then Lexi Bando shooting the gap.
Bando, one of the best 3-point shooters in the country. She shoots around 50% from 3. But her first points of the game come because of a great play on defense.
And even though Notre Dame has shot the ball well from 3 in the NCAA tournament, they want to get the ball inside the paint. But because Ruthie Hebert has shut things down inside, you got Jackie Young taking an outside shot. You have got the offense really not moving well for Notre Dame. They're going to have to get this Oregon defense to shift.
And Oregon outscoring Notre Dame 22-13 in the second quarter. It's an 8-point lead. They kept Agunbowale scoreless since the 3-minute mark of the first quarter. Let's see if Muffin McGraw tries to get her going out of the timeout.
2 defenders there.
Westbell tried to feed Shepard. Maybe got a little too cute with the pass, and it's a turnover.
Forcing Agunbowale to give up the basketball, and good rotating out of the pressure.
A chance for the Ducks to get it to double figures as we near the 1-minute mark here in the first half. Ionescu coming off a screen, fires to Hebert, and that's Hebert's first miss of the game. She was 6 of 6. Mabry behind the back to the rim. Shepard sticks it back. Big basket there by Notre Dame. Get back within 6. Step back 3. Ionescu splashes it home. What can't she do? 19 first half points. 3 assists already.
Look at all the standing by Notre Dame. They are a team that likes to run motion.
About a 7-second difference between the game and shot clocks. Timer at 8. Westbeld in the lane. Shepard and able to muscle it home. Plus a foul. A 3-point opportunity for Shepard. 2 fouls on Hebert.
When you get the ball to the high post, you'll have options in the middle of the floor. And again, Westbeld, a great facilitator. A lot of interior passing in the first half, but again, for the most part, Ruthie Hebert has been at the rim and forcing.
Shepard gets the bounce for her 14th point of the first half. She'll go to the bench. 6-point lead for Oregon. Just under 12 seconds to go here till intermission. Ionescu trying to draw contact. Ionescu with 4 seconds left. Throws it up on the glass. Thought she was fouled. And that's the end of the first half. Ionescu with 19 points, 8 of 13 shooting. Notre Dame led by Shepherd's 14 points. Let's check in with Molly.
Thank you, Dave. Sabrina, you guys stole back that momentum. What sparked that 13-2 run?
Our defensive pressure. I think we put a lot of pressure on them defensively and had them have a few quick turnovers, and I think we scored.
What did your defense do differently against Agunbowale in that second quarter?
We just have to know where she is, where the both of them are, everywhere on the court. They can take over a game and they can shoot the ball well, so we just have to make sure we know where they are.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Dave, back to you.
Well, Molly, she's right about the defense. They held Agunbowale scoreless in the second quarter, and as a team, Notre Dame shot just 37% from the floor. It's a 6-point Oregon lead at the half. Here's Maria Taylor. Welcome back to the NCAA Women's Championship presented by Capital One. In Spokane, Washington, Oregon, the 2-seed leads the #1 seed Notre Dame by 6. Time now to take a look at the Google Cloud highlights.
Well, Sabrina Ionescu was everything we expected in the first half. 19 points. She got 13 shots, hit 8 of them. Notre Dame cannot allow her to get that many attempts from the field if they want to win this one. She had the mid-range game cooking, the step back there for 3, and she has just been as brilliant as ever.
8 of 13 shooting. Oregon trying to advance to its first ever Final Four. Connecticut, Mississippi State, and Louisville, all #1 seeds, are already there. National semifinals Friday in Columbus on ESPN2. And a little bit earlier, inside the Oregon locker room, here's head coach Kelly Graves.
Keep attacking. Great job of attacking. Sabrina, you've been attacking. Satu, all 3 of you guys on the perimeter have been attacking the glass. Let's go, you guys. Take it.
And attacking is important because that's how they get threes. They like to draw the defense into the paint, and they make excellent passes to get open looks.
And Molly had a chance to talk with the Notre Dame coaching staff.
Yeah, that's right, Dave. Notre Dame assistant coach Beth Cunningham told me they need to find a better way to guard ball screens and limit Sabrina Ionescu's shot attempts. She said, offensively, we've been unassertive. They're pressuring our guards. We need to get the ball in the middle of the zone.
Well, what you see already, to Molly's point, is Jackie Young cutting through the middle of that zone. That's what they went over yesterday. They got to find a way to get more movement. A lot of standing around at the end of that second quarter.
So all that we've covered in the last minute is strategy. One thing that's really interesting, and I don't know what it means just yet, but watching Oregon warm up for the second half. All smiles, laughing. Notre Dame very serious. Now, what does that mean? We'll find out. Shepherd misses. Gets it back. Can't score again. But look at her work.
The number of shots that Notre Dame has missed in the paint has hurt them.
3 opportunities for Shepherd, then out of bounds off Oregon.
I mean, she's working, but you got to take your time and make it count. But credit Ruthie Hebert, who's using her length. Notre Dame, you look at those numbers in the paint. 6 for 15 in the second quarter. That was the difference for them offensively. They were making those shots in the paint in the first quarter.
And there's Westbeld, who's had a terrific night. A lot of uncontested looks in the middle of that defense. You pointed this out. Notre Dame has been a very good third-quarter team. They were tied in the second round at halftime with Villanova, and they blew out the Wildcats in the second half. How about that? Mallory McGuire's not played a ton of minutes here. Who's her dad, Dan, who played in the NFL. Tallest quarterback in NFL history, by the way, at 6'8". His brother, Mark McGuire.
And she can give them some minutes. Ruthie Hebert can get a rest. And McGuire has the size that Jess Shepherd brings.
Ooh, out of bounds off Oregon. I thought that was last touch by Young, but it's going to stay with Notre Dame. So Hebert getting a talking to from Coach Graves with McGuire in there for her. That's a 2-pointer. And Agumbawale's first points since the 3-minute mark of the first quarter.
Notre Dame back in their man-to-man. Yes, I am surprised that they've played as much man as they have because of the pick-and-roll execution of Oregon.
Sabally misfires and rebounded by Mabry. Been a quiet night for Mabry in terms of scoring, just 5 points. Had a 25-point game 2 days ago, but she continues to make great passes like that. Her 6th assist.
Well, you heard what Sabrina told Molly at halftime. She said them, meaning Agumbawale and Mabry. Those are the two players they wanted to contain. They did a better job with Agumbawale in the second quarter.
Jackie Young has been defending Ionescu for a good part of this game. Here's Ionescu driving. Can't get it to go. That was good defense. And Notre Dame with a chance to tie it or retake the lead. And Mabry gets to the rim. We're all even at 48. Notre Dame trying to get to its 8th Final Four in program history. Last appearance was in 2015. Oregon hadn't even been to the Sweet 16 until last year as a program. They lost in the Elite 8 to UConn. Cazorla connects. And obviously a lot of the players on this Oregon roster were on last year's team, but they knew it would be a tall order to beat Connecticut. They were a 10 seed last year, Oregon. This year's a lot different. Program record for wins, first Pac-12 tournament and regular season championships. They feel pretty good about themselves. Deep three on the money. Mabry has hit 2 of those bombs. And Notre Dame regains the advantage. Sabally, tough shot, and wrestled away by Westbeld. Numbers for Notre Dame, they got a 5-on-3. Agumbawale all the way to the rim. Can't get it, but she'll go to the line. First foul on either team here in the third quarter. Have not had a lot of whistles tonight.
Well, Marina Mabry was quiet early in this game, but she's starting to make her presence felt right here. Nice pass on the backside to Westbeld. And how about this one? Mabry's confidence from outside the arc falls, but wait a minute. Throw up the 3. She threw up the 3 to the crowd to let her know, I'm there.
Third personal foul on Cazorla.
There it is. Let them know.
She's also maybe saying my fingers are okay. As much as they hurt the other night, they're all right.
Yeah, they just got like they're tired hitting all those shots. But she's tough. I mean, I've been so impressed with her evolution this year from the 3-point shot. She's calling plays now. Defensively, she's their best perimeter defender. And not the quickest player, just the most determined.
Well, all those injuries, 4 ACL injuries as Hebert gets to the rim and misses. And so they moved Mabry from the wing to the point guard. As you say, Muffin McGraw early in the year, the coaching staff had to do a lot of running the show from the sideline, but now Mabry can call a lot of stuff on the floor. Second chance opportunity, and Agumbawale pushes the lead to 5 for Notre Dame. Timeout, Oregon. The Irish outscoring the Ducks 15-4 in the third quarter.
Here come the Irish. Coming out of the locker room in the third quarter. The second effort, Agumbawale getting it to go. Welcome back to Spokane. We're going to look inside the play at how Oregon wants to get the ball out of the hands of Marina Mabry. Right there, you see 2 players going at her, but Arike Agumbawale stays aggressive. Now, keep an eye on points in the paint. Agumbawale gets that to go, but Notre Dame has missed a lot of easy ones around the cup, but you see what the strategy is, attacking on that end and getting the ball away from Mabry.
And Agumbawale with 6 points in the quarter. Remember, she was held scoreless in the second, had 7 in the first. And Notre Dame has a 5-point lead midway through the third quarter. Where will Oregon look? The Ducks 2 for 8 here in the quarter, and they are doubling Ionescu. Great hesitation. Ionescu fouled, and she'll be at the line when we come back. Oregon down 5 to Notre Dame. One more spot to be determined. Now, every husband, including me, should take note. This is how you be a supportive spouse. I mean, you dress with the leprechaun hat. There's Matt McGraw, Muffin's husband.
I mean, if there was a Coach's Husband of the Year award, Matt would win it. I mean, he takes pictures when they're traveling. He brings her tea with honey already in it. I mean, he is so dialed in. And if you go to South Bend, he's working the room pregame, okay? He knows everyone. I mean, come on.
We're just watching him during the timeout. Muffin's talking to the team, and he's talking to the team. He's just doing it from the second row. He's just yelling.
They're in sync. That's how it should be. He's calling plays right now.
3-point lead for Notre Dame. 4.5 minutes remaining. Ogunbowale floats it up, but it won't fall. And Ionescu, who now has 21 points after those free throws, on the other end, gets the rebound.
Putting Jackie Young on her, who has some size and length, athleticism.
Cazorla's going to take the long one, but it won't fall. And Mabry, who's caught fire here in the third quarter. What a defensive play by Ionescu with the strip. She does it on both ends of the floor. Just tremendous. Batted out of bounds by Young. It'll stay with Oregon.
Sabrina Ionescu absorbed the contact. One of the questions coming into this game was, Notre Dame's physical. I mean, they're tall, but they're also big and strong. And Sabrina's been right there with them. She talked about her improved strength and conditioning program this season, and it's paying off.
10 triple-doubles for her career, which is three more than any player in NCAA history, and she was 1 rebound shy in the region. Then it's going to go to Oregon on the possession arrow, though.
I thought defensively, Notre Dame played that last possession perfectly. They high-hedged on Ionescu, forced her away from the three-point line, and then they didn't help on the long two. Instead, they stayed inside and contested.
Oregon just 2 of 11 in the quarter. 0 for 3 from behind the arc, and only 6 points after putting up 25 in the second quarter.
Audie Gilden is in the game right now, the local here from Spokane. When she comes in, she brings a physical presence, rebounding, and this right here, she recovers here on the fumble.
Excellent ball movement. Bando gets the 3 to go.
Bando is sneaky. She's quiet and will spot up from 3.
First 3-pointer of the night for Bando. 2-point lead for Notre Dame. Hebert breaks up that pass intended for Shepard. Ionescu. Great D by Nelson. Just put her hands up. Ionescu 0 for 3 from the floor here in the quarter.
She calls for the screen. A great attack of the hedge.
Second team foul on Notre Dame in the quarter. Second on Nelson.
Right here, out of the double. If you rotate the basketball, you'll find an open man. Terrific movement. And the lefty in the corner, Lexi Bando, very quiet because she likes to spot up. Defense forgets about it.
We talked at the start of the telecast about Kelly Graves taking over and the goal of getting to a Final Four in 4 years, which for a program like Oregon was a lofty and ambitious goal. They had never been to the Sweet 16. Well, Lexi Bando, she's a senior. She was there at the beginning. She's a Eugene native. And now she has an opportunity to be a part of a Final Four team when nobody would have thought that possible when she was signed her freshman year.
Well, Oregon has a great brand. And players want to play for Kelly Graves because he's fun and he's loose and, wants them to have a great experience. We asked him, what do you want your players to get out of this? He wants them to have a great experience. What coaches are really on game day worried about their players having a memorable moment?
I think he'll take a miserable experience and a win, though.
That's true.
I think that combo would work, too. And they're going to get an offensive foul here. They're going to get a push-off on Gilden. It's 2 on her. Tuesday on ESPN, it's the 81st NIT with the semifinals from MSG. At 7 Eastern, Utah taking on Western Kentucky. Then Mississippi State against Penn State. Both games available on the ESPN app. Nearing 1 minute to go here in the third quarter. The Irish with a 2-point lead. Young was going to back it out, then drives, but is short. Got her own miss. And Hebert fouls her. That's 3 on Hebert.
Notre Dame likes to run Jackie Young to the middle of the floor. And she's a very good offensive rebounder. Nice ball fake, gets Ruthie Hebert up off of her feet.
Got her with the body, right?
Absolutely.
And Jackie Young, one of the most improved players. When you think about all that Notre Dame's been through, the injuries, and here's Jackie Young, who last year was a role player, averaged about 7 points per game, and all of a sudden she's thrust into this role this year that maybe she wasn't expecting coming into the year. She doubles her scoring average, has been huge in the NCAA tournament, and hits 2 free throws there.
Well, she was hit with injuries last year, so never really got her bearing and her footing. And this season, look at all the minutes she's had the opportunity to play due to the adversity. Gotten comfortable.
Hebert. Wow, a rare miss right at the rim. She had made her first 6 shots from the floor, but has not have a made field goal since.
Christina Nelson has given Notre Dame good defensive minutes.
There's Young with the pull-up J, and it's a 6-point Notre Dame lead.
Same trend we saw third quarter against Texas A&M. Jackie Young taking over.
Notre Dame clearly with momentum now. We'll see if Oregon can finish out the third quarter by getting some of it back. They go to Cazorla with 10 seconds to go. Here's Ionescu, long 3, way off the mark. Here comes Young with 1, gets it away from half court. Notre Dame outscores Oregon 21-9 in the third, and the Irish in front as we go to the fourth. You'll hear from head coach Muffet McGraw when we return.
Welcome back to the Women's Regional Final. I'm here with Notre Dame head coach Muffet McGraw. And coach, what did your defense do better against their ball screens in the third quarter?
Well, we're trying a couple different things, trying to maybe come up with a little bit of a hedge. Just going to switch some. Just got to try whatever we can to make it work. They're dangerous off the ball screen.
Jackie Young getting it going. What do you want to see offensively down the stretch?
Yeah, we need to. I mean, we're missing some easy shots. We got to get in and just make our layups and go up strong.
Thank you, coach.
Well, that's what you said, LaChana. I mean, if they make more layups, they're up 12, 15 points. They outscored Oregon as it is 21-9 in that third quarter. And the stars for the Ducks that were so good in the first half, Ionescu and Hebert, struggled offensively in the third quarter. Ionescu was 0 for 4 from the floor. Hebert was 0 for 2.
When you heard Muffet McGraw talking about mixing up their pick and roll coverage, we did see some high hedge, some switching, different things against Sabrina. And she seemed to be taking a while to make the read on exactly what was happening in those situations. But if Oregon's going to pull it out, you need a lot of Ruthie Hebert and a lot of Sabrina Ionescu.
So, as a program, Oregon has never been to a Final Four. What are these players, what's going through their minds right now? They know it's not just about what they're doing, but it's the history of the program right now that they're playing for as well.
Yeah, I mean, as they mentioned, wasn't a lot of expectation in the Elite Eight last year, but this season, a lot of the experts picking Oregon to win, even though they're not the #1 seed in this region.
Let's check in with Molly McGrath.
Well, Kelly Graves in that last timeout saying to his players, what did I tell you? This is an offensive game, but the team that wins a quarter of defense will win this, and Notre Dame just did that. So you need to win this quarter defensively and on the boards. Everybody needs to fight for rebounds. Scoring is not enough at this point.
Ionescu got her own miss and puts it in. That ends a stretch of 5 consecutive misses. And meanwhile, some Notre Dame players on the floor, Mabry and Young, both hit the deck. We talked about 4 ACL injuries, Westbeld battling an ankle injury, Mabry with a bad hand. And Mabry's really upset. If there might have been something flagrant, they will go and look at it. Let's see. Boy, hard to tell from that angle if there was anything flagrant from Ionescu. Let's see here. Didn't look like much.
I don't, that contact, the swinging of the elbow there was no contact made there. 2 players getting tied up, which happens sometime after a basket. I mean,
Mabry stuck her arm out. She kind of initiated that, and then Ionescu didn't swing an elbow or anything.
Yeah, they were tied up, but Mabry's momentum took her down hard. Trying to see if there was any contact because there's ice right now on the front of the head. And Sabrina's just trying to get out. Maybe, oh, right there. That's when her head, I think, hit the floor when Jackie Young fell on her.
I've seen way too many injuries between teammates, right? I mean, the Warriors with Steph Curry, Kevin Durant previously. And here you get Mabry, some friendly fire from Jackie Young. But again, as far as the Ionescu play go, which is what they're reviewing here, doesn't look like there's anything flagrant there.
No. I don't suspect that this will be upgraded.
Nope, they're going to leave it as is with play on.
And if anyone can take a licking and keep on ticking, it's Marina Mabry. And if anything, Sabrina Ionescu.
Oh, wow, look at that.
Oh, wow.
But that was from a teammate.
Yeah, it was.
At least we think. It appeared from the video that was from Jackie Young.
But I wouldn't want to make Marina Mabry mad is the point that I was going to finish with, because she's not backing down. She likes to mix it up. She's Jersey tough.
Notre Dame by 4, 40 seconds into the fourth quarter. A spot in the Final Four on the line. And Mabry for 3 off the mark, but there's Shepard with the putback on the backside. Jessica Shepard, who's never been to a Final Four, transfer from Nebraska, trying to get her team there. Ionescu misfires and an Oregon foul.
Open shot for Sabrina Ionescu. Not able to knock it down.
And Sabally commits her first foul, the first on Oregon here in the quarter. Ionescu in the first half was 8 of 13 from the floor. She is 1 of 7 from the field here in the second half. But it's only a 6-point lead for Notre Dame. Missed 3. Shepard got the rebound and an Oregon foul. Shepard is just dominating on the offensive glass. Bando took a shot to the face that time. That's her first foul, second team foul in Oregon.
There's not a more powerful player on this court than Jess Shepard. And no, I don't think there was a foul there on Shepard. You hear the crowd booing, and you're allowed to get position. There wasn't displacement. Lexi Bando is just 50 pounds lighter.
Westbell drives deep, and Hebert had to be careful because of those 3 fouls, and Notre Dame leads by 8. So it's the largest lead of the night for Notre Dame. The veteran team for the Irish, but only 2 players on the roster experienced the Final Four. Last appearance for the Irish in 2015. And Ionescu fouled and checked by Young. First on Notre Dame in the quarter. Notre Dame's men's hockey team is advanced to the Frozen Four in St. Paul. Catch the Irish International semifinal doubleheader Thursday, April 5th. 6 Eastern on ESPN2 and the ESPN app. And visit NCAA.com, the home for all 90 NCAA championships. Tip by Notre Dame. Going to stay with Oregon.
I can't say enough about Notre Dame's pick and roll defense. It's been impressive how they've mixed it up. I mean, it's rare you see confusion between Sabrina Ionescu and Ruthie Hebert. They are seamless in a 2-man game.
And you wonder, is Oregon experiencing some doubt right now? They were so fired up at halftime. We saw their disposition coming on the floor. Where Notre Dame has been very serious, the same demeanor throughout. It's been a little different for Oregon. Boy, McGuire looked like he had an 8-footer. Gave it up, though.
It looked like Cazorla would have been open had Ionescu made one more pass.
Held ball will stay with Oregon. And Hebert will come back into the game. Oregon shooting just 20% from the floor in the half. 4 of 20. Notre Dame is 10 of 24 this half from the field. They get an easy one, though, with McGuire.
Great read by Bando. I think that's what Oregon needs to do more of. Play off of the bounce. That's when they're at their best. Get into the lane, make the defense rotate, make the extra pass.
Young off the heel, and McGuire with a rebound. McGuire again, can't knock it down.
Notre Dame will give that up.
Here's Agunbowale, Dame's second team All-American. Struggling from the field though here lately. And they're going to get a foul on Notre Dame. It'll be on Young, that's her second, and the second on the Irish here in the quarter.
McGuire has played some tough minutes under the basket for Oregon.
Good defense by Westbeld, checking Ionescu. Nice bounce to Cazorla, and she was fouled. That's 3 on Young. And Cazorla will go to the line for the Ducks.
Right here, just off of the bounce. Nice cut there by Cazorla, which sets up that play. And you're right, Jackie Young did foul her.
Still inside the restricted area and moving as well.
Never really was in legal defensive position to begin with.
Maite Cazorla, junior from Spain. All Pac-12, 83% free throw shooter. And it's back to a 4-point game.
And this is where Oregon could use a boost from this crowd.
It's a pretty good turnout here, and most of the fans here are rooting for the number 2 seed. And again, there's a pretty good contingent that are Gonzaga fans, but because of Kelly Graves and what he did for their program, they're here rooting for the Ducks. Ionescu into the paint. Can't finish again. Just 1 for 8 from the floor in the second half. Six minutes to go. Notre Dame in search of its 8th Final Four trip, first since 2015. Mabry puts it on the floor. Missed the layup. And Ionescu has it, looking to push tempo. They got numbers. Here's Hebert for the layup.
How about Oregon's defense in the last few possessions?
And they've scored the last 6 points to make it a 2-point deficit. First time we've called Hebert's name in a while. In a positive sense, anyway. Agunbowale drives, wild shot. Westbeld rebounds and is fouled.
Big lineup in right now for Oregon. McGuire has done a good job taking away inside shots. And Oregon on the move is tough to defend, especially when Ruthie Hebert is on the run.
First field goal of the second half for Hebert. Meanwhile, McGuire commits the foul, the third on Oregon, and Westbeld knocks down the first free throw. Westbeld, one of the 2 players on this roster, Christina Nelson being the other, that experienced a Final Four trip back in 2015. Both free throws go for Westbeld, back to a 4-point lead midway through the fourth quarter. Here's Ionescu keeping the dribble and unable to connect again. 1 for 10.
But Lexi Bando off the double screen, nothing there. But how about the pass for Mabry?
Shepard powers it up and in. Timeout, Oregon. Notre Dame by 6. And it is a 6-point lead for Notre Dame midway through the final frame Sabrina Ionescu has had a quiet second half, just one field goal after going 8 for 13 in the first half. Here's Hebert from Ionescu, and great defense by Shepard.
Well, there's a couple things that are trouble for Oregon. They're 1 for 8 from 3 in the second half. They're minus 16 on the glass. And Notre Dame has 20 assists on 28 made field goals. So their offense has been working more often than Oregon's.
And how about Westbeld? 20 points, a 9 of 12 shooting. She didn't even play in the first half against Villanova because of a foot injury. When she took the floor in the second half, they ended up outscoring Villanova by 26 points.
I mean, we talked about the interior passing. Notre Dame has got to be one of the best teams in the country at doing exactly that. Getting it into the paint and then finding a higher percentage shot when the defense shifts. But courageous by Westbeld. She's playing through pain.
It's a left ankle injury. She also had right ankle surgery last April. So she's been fighting through a couple of issues here the last year or so.
But if you're Kelly Graves, you look at this lineup for Notre Dame and you say, okay, we'll force Catherine Westbeld to beat us from the high post. And she's answered.
Cazorla with the free throws. During 4 minutes to go here, they're going to put Mabry off the ball. 6-point Notre Dame lead. Shepard. And Hebert with the block, but kept alive by Westbeld. The shot clock doesn't reset. Young flips it up, and it drops.
Notre Dame has just been the more physical team offensively. It's one thing to be a physical defense, but their attacking has worn down Oregon defensively in spurts.
Cazorla able to get it to go with the left hand off the window. Three and a half minutes remaining in this regional final of the 2018 NCAA Women's Championship. 3 #1 seeds have moved on to Columbus. Will Notre Dame join them? Got a held ball, bodies hit the floor. It's going to stay with Notre Dame.
One of the questions coming in was, we knew these coaches wanted to limit the other team from 3. Which one needed the three-point shot more? I think Oregon needs to hit threes to really feel in a rhythm offensively. And they've got 3:18 left.
But they're 1 for 8 this half in three-point land. Young does a good job to keep it from going out of bounds, and the shot clock down to 9 for the Irish. Timer at 5. Mabry's not touching it. Here's Shepard. Powers it off the window. No. Sabally with the rebound. Inside 3 minutes to go in a 6-point game. Sabally left open. Way off the mark. Agunbowale out there with it. Going 1-on-2. Got her own miss. Another offensive rebound for Notre Dame. That's been a big story.
They are killing them with the offensive rebounds. Keep in mind, Dave, Central Michigan had 22 O boards against Oregon. And Kelly Graves didn't feel like they played their best game against Central Michigan. Neither did Sabrina Ionescu. And that was a big factor, the offensive glass.
And it's minus 13 right now in offensive rebounds and minus 15 in second chance points for Oregon. Notre Dame could take it to about 2 minutes to go on the game clock with a 6-point lead.
And that is one area that I think defensively, the decision to play man by Muffet McGraw has helped them on the glass. It's hard to rebound out of the zone that Oregon has been playing in.
Here's Agunbowale, who's not scored in the fourth quarter until now. Big bank shot to push the lead to 8. 2 minutes to go. Jackie Young shadowing Ionescu, so they go to Hebert, and she can't get it to drop, but she was fouled by Westbeld. 14 foul on Notre Dame, or 15 foul, so they're over the limit. Westbeld with her second personal.
Enrique Agunbowale just determined. Doesn't give up her dribble. Sees multiple defenders. How athletic. Gets some air time. Use of the glass. That's pretty.
Led the ACC in scoring. And her scoring average of about 21 per game is the best in Notre Dame history. Think of all the great players that have come through South Bend. 24 20-point games. That's better than anybody's done in Irish history as well. She was the most outstanding player in Lexington last year in the regional, even though they didn't make it to the Final Four. And she'll be in the running this year. Got an Oregon foul there over the limit, so the Irish with free throws coming up.
Down the stretch last year in their loss to Stanford, I thought that Arike Ogunbowale didn't make great decisions offensively. And so that was one of the challenges for her this year, to be smarter about her shot selection. She's grown in her passing ability, just a more mature player. Therefore, you see the numbers that you just talked about.
Avery gets the first free throw. The NCAA men's Final Four starts Saturday on TBS, 6 Eastern Time, Loyola, Chicago, and Michigan for a spot in the national championship game. For more info, go to ncaa.com. 2 1s, a 3, and an 11 in the men's Final Four. 3 number 1s, and at this point, with 1:45 to go, a good chance there's going to be 4 number 1s. Bando misses the 3, out of bounds to Notre Dame. The Irish a 9-point lead with 1:39 to go and possession. Although they can go to the monitor here and look to see if indeed Oregon touched it last.
The last play is under review by the officials.
So give Muffet McGraw an opportunity to talk to her team as we have an official review to check and see who touched it last. Take a look at tonight's Capital One rewarding performance. Marina Mabry doing it all.
Well, she was quiet early, but then she turned it up, and that's when Notre Dame was at their best. Look at the numbers: 12 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists, filling in wherever it's needed. But it's just her overall toughness. That is what really drives this team.
Lisa Mattingly is the crew chief. They're again looking to see if it was touched last by Oregon, which was the ruling on the floor. Enough evidence to overturn it?
No, it doesn't look like it from here. Yeah, it doesn't look like enough evidence to overturn the call.
Winner of this game moves on to play Connecticut in Columbus on Friday night in the Final Four. See Cazorla come in there, and I think they got it right on the floor that it was Cazorla touching it last.
It looks like her hand actually influenced it going out of bounds. Let's see. Yeah, I don't think they're going to see anything that would indicate a change in that call.
Just think Notre Dame, what it's overcome this year with 4 players lost to ACL injuries, including Brianna Turner, who was hurt in the NCAA tournament last year. Lily Thompson, Michael Johnson, Michaela Vaughn, all out with injuries. And these are obviously very important players. And Muffet McGraw said, you know, 31 years at Notre Dame, had some great teams at national championship in 2001, but this is, you know, up there in terms of her accomplishments as a team. It's going to stay Notre Dame ball just because of what they've overcome from an injury standpoint.
I mean, when you talk to the players, they say the expectations never change. And in fact, Muffet McGraw raised the bar for them as more players got injured. That's just incredible. Full court pressure here by Oregon.
And the Irish able to break the press. Oregon trying to foul. Yes, they are. Try to extend the game here with a 9-point deficit. Ogunbowale, though, shoots close to 80% from the line. And if Oregon goes on to lose this game, you'd have to say, well, the 2 stars that were so good in the first half didn't do enough in the second half. Ionescu 1 for 9 in the second half. And Hebert, who made her first 6 shots from the floor, has made just 1 basket since.
I have not seen Sabrina Ionescu really question herself at all in this NCAA tournament, but I have in the second half of this game. And the mixing up and changing of pick and roll coverage, and the physicality of Notre Dame seems to have worn Ionescu down a bit. Nice move there to the rim.
And she'll go to the line. But to your point, it's not just all because those two are struggling. Notre Dame's defense has been very good on both of them here in the second half. Jackie Young just picked up her 4th foul. She's been guarding Ionescu for most of the night. And if this night means the end of the season for Oregon, it certainly doesn't mean the end of the line. They have so much talent coming back, including both Hebert and Ionescu, who are sophomores. Kelly Graves and company way ahead of schedule, given where they were when he took over 4 years ago.
Yeah, when you've been to back-to-back Elite Eights and you lose to UConn and Notre Dame, who have been the mainstay in the Final Four, 2 national championship programs. I mean, Kelly Graves has done an outstanding job.
And similar to what Dana Altman did on the men's side when he took over at Oregon, got them to a Final Four last year for the first time since the 30s for the men's team. You can download the Around the Rim podcast on the ESPN app, hosted by my broadcast partner, LaChina Robinson. She'll be recording live at the Women's Final Four in Columbus. We got guests lined up yet? I mean, you've had everybody on. You've had everybody. You had Candace Parker on last week, right?
Yeah, we've got some special guests lined up. The Queen of Columbus has just confirmed Katie Smith will be on. I mean, we've got WNBA players, we've got coaches. You have to come and see. We might even pull a few people out of the crowd. So you just never know.
That was on West Bell, the Queen of Columbus, huh? For the former Buckeye.
Oh, yeah.
Ionescu back at the line. Oregon not done yet with a clock stop, and that's why Muffet's got her hands in her head like, what are you doing fouling, with Ionescu going to the line. 6 of 6 tonight. Her first miss, though, comes at a key moment. One out of 2. It's a 9-point game. They're going to foul here on the inbound. Ogunbowale is 4 for 4 for the line. She'll go back down there and shoot 2.
Muffet McGraw was telling us that when Marina Mabry first made the transition to point guard, she was exhausted after games because it was like she was playing point guard, making the calls. And I think she said she left exhausted from games. But Mabry, watching extra film, just working on late game situations, working on her ball handling, all the things a point guard is expected to be able to do to the nth degree.
So that means her husband Matt was exhausted too, because we've kind of been watching him. He's in the first row there behind his wife, who's coaching the game, and it looks like he's coaching the game.
He's coaching. He is, absolutely.
Hebert gets it to go. And so a timeout by Oregon. Back within 9, minute 5 to go. There's Matt. He's got his ticket inside of the ribbon on the leprechaun cap there.
Come on. No one is cool in the building right now as this guy right here. No one.
Yeah, we were talking about this earlier. We thought, if Notre Dame gets there, it's only the 4th time that all 4 #1 seeds have made it. And it just doesn't seem right, given the dominance that we've seen from the top seeds. And if Notre Dame does advance, how challenging is that matchup, even at full strength? It's a tough one for Notre Dame, but now especially with basically playing 6 players.
Yeah, but everyone already knows when Notre Dame and UConn meet, it's going to be a game. Like, it doesn't matter. It's just there's a rivalry there. Those 2 programs go at it. But I'll tell you what I'm anxious to see. Jeff Walls will come up with the game plan for Tierra McCowan. Now, she has had her way. Mississippi State, 6'7" center. But Jeff is brilliant, and I love to see what his plans are defensively. We remember what he did to Brittany Griner a few years back to upset Baylor. So he'll be disruptive, especially with the big girl inside.
Mabry at the line shooting 2. You know, you would have thought, man, in the 90s it happened all the time, but no, you went from 89 to 2012 before you had all #1 seeds make it again. And then back in 2015, the last time Notre Dame was in the Final Four, and UConn won the championship that year. So Mabry gets them both. Notre Dame making all its free throws down the stretch.
It may be the #1 seed, but it's not the #1 seed we're necessarily used to seeing, like a Mississippi State. I mean, that's where there's more parity in the game. Look at what Vic Schaefer has done with that program. Incredible.
Oregon. See if they foul here. Doesn't look like they're going to. They know it's too late. Sports Center is up next here on ESPN. Ogunbowale pulls up. And not a smart foul as Muffet and Matt McGraw stomp their feet in anger after the foul call. Free throws on the other end. Well, what a job Muffet McGraw has done this year. Hall of Famer. A team that has just had devastating injury after devastating injury. Their only losses this year against Connecticut and against Louisville twice.
Well, Muffet was remembering her first trip to the Final Four with her '97 team, a team that also was low in numbers due to injury. One of her current assistants, Beth Cunningham, who was a great player at Notre Dame, was their key cog during that time. But so she had full confidence despite the injuries of her team's ability, and this was their expectation. The expectations at Notre Dame do not change.
Notre Dame was down 6 at halftime, then outscored Oregon 21-9 in the third quarter. And the Fighting Irish.
Muffet's still coaching. She's like, hey.
There's about a 1/10 of a second difference in the game and shot clock here, so we'll see if time will run out or if there'll be a shot clock violation. That's it. Notre Dame is going back to the Final Four. First time since 2015 and the 8th time in program history. The reward? A date with undefeated UConn.
Incredible what the Irish have done this year. As you mentioned, Dave, Muffet McGraw's best coaching job to date, in my opinion. She's got a great staff. Carol Owens, Yale Ivey, Beth Cunningham, they were relentless and kept their goal the same.
Great run for Oregon. Second straight year that it ends in the Elite Eight. But they'll be back. 4 #1 seeds in Columbus. Mississippi State and Louisville at 7 Eastern on ESPN2 Friday night, followed by UConn and these Fighting Irish. And Molly is standing by with Muffet.
Thank you so much, Dave. Coach, you said the biggest difference with you this year is that you're learning to celebrate the victories a little bit more.
Well, I'm definitely going to celebrate this one.
How good does it feel to celebrate this one and head to another Final Four?
I mean, it's so rewarding for this team to get back there. They've been working so hard all year, so resilient, just persevered through so much adversity. It's amazing.
It's okay, Molly. It's just confetti. You can get back in there.
Molly said, no, you will not get me.
Molly might have a tough time getting back in there now. The players crowding around Muffet.
But to that point, and Molly was absolutely right, Muffet does not enjoy the moment. She is so competitive, so it's good to see her enjoy this.
The Final Four is next from Columbus on Friday night on ESPN2. Up next on ESPN, it's Sports Center. For LaChina Robinson, Molly McGrath, I'm Dave Pasch. So long from Spokane. Notre Dame off to the Final Four.